Sure.
Hi guys, this is Cornelius here from Conversations with Cornelius, and this is
Noelle Patricia O Sullivan.
from
Cornelius and the Queen.
Cornelius and the Queen, our Patreon podcast. This week's episode is an episode that we just recorded, and we were going to put it out on our Patreon, but we decided to launch it to the public. Don't worry, Patrons, we'll still be doing an exclusive episode for you guys, but we just wanted people to listen to what you could expect if you did join our Patreon. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Cornelius and the
Queen.
Hello and welcome to my podcast, Conversations with Cornelius, where I, Cornelius Patrick O Sullivan, discuss, chat and hypothesize on all things from fatherhood, marriage, comedy and everything else in between. From time to time, there will be special guests, but mostly it's going to be me and some regular contributors, including my main squeeze, Noelle Patricia O Sullivan, aka the wife. So sit back, relax and enjoy Conversations with Cornelius.
Hello, good morning everybody, and
Morning.
welcome to an episode of Cornelius and the Queen. I am your host, Cornelius Patrick O Sullivan, and you are
Noelle Patricia O Sullivan.
Murchú.
Why are you standing? You're kind of making me nervous. I don't know what's going on. This is new.
You know, I would say
You're being
there's
fluid.
no need to be nervous. We're married 9 years. We were married 9 years this week.
Yeah.
And you've seen my asshole. Like, do you know what I mean? There is no need for you to be nervous around me. I'm just standing because I've got like kind of excess energy, and I'm drinking coffee. Is that the Starbucks coffee?
Yeah. Again, people are going, Starbucks coffee.
Well, that's from the good days. Like, you didn't buy that. That's like from back in when we had the wage coming in, that fat wage coming in, week out. And I was like, I'll fill the car with diesel, and I'll also buy this bar of chocolate, that bar of chocolate, this packet of potatoes, 2 bottles of Diet Coke, and I'll get a newspaper and a magazine. Boys, would you like anything? Get whatever you like. Now it's like, I'm getting my petrol, and I'm like...
You still bought the paper.
I got the Cork band, but that's only because you're going away for the weekend, and I want to see what matches are on, so that I can go to a match on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I want to see if there's a match that I can go to on Sunday, because I know Dylan's soccer team aren't playing, Bohor Celtic aren't playing, so the plan on Sunday now for me is get up, go to the pub, or go to a match and go to the pub.
Oh,
yeah.
Is it?
That's what. I want to go to a match, right? And then I want to go for 2 or 3 pints. That's my plan.
What's happened to not drinking for a few weeks or months or something?
Yeah. That plan is kind of gone there. The reason it's gone is because I didn't know you were missing for the weekend. When you're missing, Noelle, I turn back into a 20.
Leave me now. Well, I get the depressed off his game fella on Monday evening then.
Ooh, so then you should never leave me. It's your fault. Baby, please don't. And you're taking my children as well. So it's
not like I'm taking
it's
them
great.
across the border or something.
Please don't change your plans.
If anything, he's given me tonight off, so I'm heading down tonight.
Head away now, actually. I'll finish the podcast.
Yeah. And we won't even be at County Bounds, and you'll be missing us.
I know. It's fucking... No, it's always when you're gone. It's the first maybe 3 or 4 hours. I'm like, oh, this is class.
This is class.
Put on fucking Netflix. Put my hand down my pants.
Okay.
Just chill out, watch, have a bake in the gaff with the door open, and you're like, what's that smell around the place? I'm like,
excuse me.
And then by whatever time what I'm watching on Netflix finishes, I'll go on and I'll see you might do a story or send me a picture of Hunter.
Or get Lana to send you a photo.
Or get Lana, yeah, send that on there, Lana. And straight away I'm like, I want him to come home. I want to. Do you know? It's very short lived, like.
Yeah.
Men are very easy to if this is some advice out there to the women, right? If you want to satisfy your man, all you got to do, right, is pretend you care, right, and then do a great job at pretending an awful lot, and then go away. Go away then and kind of say, look, yeah, no bother, you have your own time there. Straight away, like I do, once I start missing you, then and missing the lads. It's enduring for the whole weekend, Like, it's fucking annoying as fuck. So don't be sending me any pictures of you looking
Okay,
cute
I
and
won't.
happy. No, do.
That's one less job I have to do while I'm away.
Alana, send that on there, will you?
Oh, tick. Sometimes I ring him and just dial the number really fast. Like, just ring for a couple of seconds, and then I'm like,
I
that's
tried.
done now. It's missed call. Boom.
Yeah.
Covered now for a few hours.
And I'll repeatedly try to ring you back.
Back about 4 times.
And like,
Nearly run out of the
Yeah.
toilet because you.
and the bitch won't answer. Like, do you know what I mean? I'll be like, what the fuck? What were you do? Sorry, babe. I was living my best life. That was back when we had cash. Now, babe, there's no living best lives. You know, well, you can live your best life in a different way. We're living our best life in a different way now.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say a very more challenging way. The last 2 weeks, the comedy club has been so quiet. Oh my god! And I'm like, I'm fucking stressed. Last week we had a heat wave. Last fucking Friday, we had 15 tickets sold for the show, and because it was a heat wave, right? Today is Friday when we're recording this, right? At the moment, there are 6 tickets sold, and it's biblical fucking Noah's Ark weather. This country is fucking bipolar.
Yeah.
This country is bipolar. Fuck me sideways, like, you know. So
No thanks.
the first 2, well, missionary. This is the first 2 weeks now that I'm like, since you've left, that I'm like, right, okay, this is fucking, it's all like, do you know, here we go. Thankfully, I've started going on tour with Chris.
Yes, tell us about that. Exciting stuff.
Yeah, but like from a financial point of view, that's brilliant, obviously, like, do you
Yeah,
know,
but
for us.
Forget about the finance now. We talk enough about that. Tell us about the comedy side of going touring with Chris.
Well, we did our first gig last night now in Dolan's. Or as you
Dolan's.
call it, How you said to me this morning, how'd you get on in Dolan's? Dolan's, one of the most an internationally renowned venue. I was looking at posters down there, like Bob Geldof,
No way.
fucking Damien Dempsey, fucking like you know, all the great, like all the big bands, like Mick Flannery, all these. And how'd you get on in Dolan's?
Yeah, and then I'm meant to be like,
You're my manager.
starting to like infiltrate this world, and I'm like Doolins. That's funny because we were in Doolin.
I know. I think it's sweet. It was. I tell you now, right? You're fucking dead right. I'm trying to. Obviously, the show has to go on with Coco, and we're going to drive it on, and you're going to be up there, and Dan. I fucking full faith in Dan and stuff like that. But like that's how, you know, when you've taken over the reins of the ship, you can't take your eye off the ball. Like, do you know what I mean? But last night now, just doing comedy, going on tour. Like, Chris collected me in Mitchelstown. I just hopped in with my bag. Like, I didn't have to worry about ticket sales or
the Eventbrite on your
Eventbrite
phone,
or setting up rooms or tech or who's on first, who's closing. Do you know, all that kind of stuff? I was just there to be funny. I was just there, and I was employed.
And were you?
I fucking was very funny last night. Now, if I do say so myself, I said to Chris, like, I'm trying my best when I'm on stage to be present. Now you might think that's it's your one job, you know, like, to be present, but like, it's actually fucking hard enough sometimes to be present.
How do you mean now on stage? Like, what do you mean?
So like to be in the moment, like, my material that I did last night is to be present for me, right? Is to be in the actual words as you're saying them, living them as you're saying, believing them to be happening as you say them. You know, for example, I finished on my poems now last night. Yeah. And I finished on internet dating, which is a poem that I've been doing for a few years. It's a funny poem that I wrote about internet dating. I must have done the poem maybe 150 times live now at this stage.
At least, I'd say.
Right. So you would be forgiven to think that if you were reciting a poem like that, you know, repetitively, that you wouldn't be in it. As you know, you wouldn't say it and perform it to the same level as you would.
And I suppose yours is a lot. Your comedy is quite perform its words and the performance of those words. Yeah.
And I felt last night I was in the zone. Do you know what they say, in the zone? Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
and
that's
not
a better
going through
way.
the motions.
Like when I say present, like I mean in the zone, as in, like, you know, like in it, living it, giving it 100%. enjoying it as I do, being aware of the people around you.
Yes, and the venue and the
Yeah.
prestige of the venue and enjoying it and taking that all in kind
Exactly,
of vibe, is it?
and not to be, because you like, and myself and Chris were doing a bit of box breeding as well upstairs before the. He's fucking cool guy, Chris. I swear to God, like he's into all the same things as me, the law of attraction and visualization.
Why don't you just marry him? So
Well, I'm going to see if I can start a sordid affair first of all, because I don't know would we be compatible in bed, like, and if we are, yeah, an affair, full-fledged affair, and then marriage. But no, he's into the same stuff as me, like, and which is cool, and we're similar age, similar families, so it was. Yeah, I know it was brilliant, and I met the owner of the venue then last night, and like I was only thinking about him this morning. Mick is his name. Do you ever come across these characters in life? They're larger than life, like they're just enigmatic. This guy, humble-looking fella altogether, came in and he was bubbling, and he was like, and this guy has worked with the biggest acts.
yeah,
in Ireland,
right,
like,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And fuck it, he treated me as if I was Sinead
One of the
O'Connor or
biggest.
Bono or
Yeah,
what. Do
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, he was just a lovely man, but like so enigmatic, like, you know, like. But the gig itself was just. It was in Dolan's. It was in the big room in Dolan's. 250 people, sold out. He's like, we're doing. I think he was telling me there's it's 70 dates, 20 in England, so 50 Irish dates. We're going to do pretty much every county, and like we're going to be going back to Dolan's now again, or Doolan's.
And then Chris's story is kind of interesting as well, like, isn't it? Because you did that. You were saying you did that gig.
Well,
Was it last year?
It's so fucking funny because this time last year, Chris, right, who is, in my opinion, like he's an inspiration to a lot, to me anyway, in a big way. He's from Cork. He's a hard-working comedian, a storyteller, like brilliant descriptive comedy, great deadpan delivery, and this time last year he was working as, like, he was a comedian for 12 years before the pandemic, and then the pandemic came. He was just about to break really before the pandemic. The pandemic came and everything lost. He had to go back, like 2 kids, to go back and get a job as he was qualified electrician, but he hadn't worked in it in 12 years. Went back, did it, had to go back into it, and the money in that game is unfucking believable, and that's the difference between the comedy world and the real world. Is our wages are just, they're so uncertain, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas, so he would have gone from the uncertainty of that, right? Even if you are successful, you could be waiting. You could, like, for example, I did gigs in August that I haven't got paid for yet. We're nearly in October now, like, you know, and that's just the nature of the business, like,
Yes, yeah,
do you know.
yeah.
But he this time last year he was working as an electrician, making a good, solid, steady wage for the first time in ages, being able to support his family, saving for a mortgage, blah 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 blah. And then we were doing Dolan's because he was back. He was doing that by day, and then trying to resurrect his comedy career by night. And we were in Dolan's or Doolins. I'm fucking saying Doolins now. And we were in the small room, and I was opening for him. And Peter Carroll was doing a gig with me. We were doing the Supernatural Brothers double act before him, and we were there before him. And he arrived in late because he'd been working late in his Snickers pants and his work boots and. You know, and I said to him last night, I said, "Do you remember that last year, man?" I said, "Last year, you were arriving here as an electrician, trying to get your comedy career back on track, and now he's doing this massive sold out."
Like, I think just to clarify, like, his career was always there. He was always a brilliant comedian. It was just with the pandemic and stuff quietening down, he'd gone back into. It's not like he was cancelled or anything from the comedy.
No,
just in case
oh
anyone
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
As in
I
he
suppose
was
that's very valid to say. Yeah, like before the pandemic, he was like, you know,
he was about to be where he is now today.
Do you know, I'd say he wasn't going to be that far away because that's what his new show is all about. Like, and I would say if anyone is listening to it, definitely go and try and see Chris live. He's absolutely fantastic, but his stories are just. They're all true as well. They're all. But the thing
what I was saying was, it's just the difference in the year. He was.
But he says it on stage. Is he took a different direction. Niamh made him give up the job.
Yeah.
His wife made him give up the job, and focus on the aspects of comedy that he hadn't done before, like videos, like clipping up videos. Yeah. And of course, in fairness, he had like he is an established comedian before the pandemic, like very well respected within the community, but not famous. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, not able to sell the tickets. That not on his talent. His talent, he was probably more talented than a lot of people that were famous, but like just hadn't notoriety. But he had the foresight to record all of his gigs down through the years. So he's like 7 hours of material. Because he does a show every year. He's prolific, like.
Right, yeah,
so
yeah.
he had
So
all these 7 shows. And so TikToks and reels and fucking...
he'd all the content ready to go.
All the content. No, he had to learn how to edit
it, yeah.
which is a difficult job. Went away. Niamh made him. She said, "Give up the fucking job. Give up the..." Because he was, in fairness now, he was he's in demand. Like when the pandemic, as you know, when the pandemic was over, we were all in demand. Like we were all the comedians were like, people were starved of entertainment. Like, you know. So we were all in demand, but he was more in demand than anyone, you know, because he's just fucking brilliant, like. And he clipped all that stuff up, and then he went viral, and that's when his social media fucking went through the roof. He's like fucking, like, he'd less followers than I had this time last year.
Yeah.
And now he's got like fucking, you know, tens of thousands of followers online.
Yeah, and he's selling out the Opera House 4 times, or the Everyman 4 times over.
His
or
Vicar
whatever.
Street sold out.
He's got another date for that now.
He's got another date for that. We did Dolan's last night. There's 3 Dolans sold out.
So that's what I'm expecting now this time next year, Con.
Yeah, okay.
For the Chris Kent podcast.
Well, I'll have to do the 7 years first of the 7 year shows, so I'm literally just doing the first. So, do you know, in 7 years' time, will I be alive? I'm not sure. No, I feel I'm doing too much fucking talking. How are you getting on?
I just wanted to. I think this is a big week.
It is.
I just wanted to. It's the start of the next chapter, we'll say, in this Noelle giving up work world, where you are going on the road now for the next 3 or 4 months, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to. Yeah. Oh my God!
And it was great. It was great. I've just to finish up on it. Like, fucking from a spiritual point of view, for me last night, I felt comedic again.
Yes,
because I'm after the show, people were coming up to me and they were like, "Oh, I love your stuff on TikTok, and when are you coming back here? Are you doing your own show?" And there was that was going on, and Chris is like so humble and so great to shout me out as well, and shout out my stuff, and it just felt really cool. And I was in the car, I wasn't driving, Chris drove, and you know, I was like freaking just it was great. And Dolan's is a massive venue, and as I said, we were in the big room, but right, there was like 3 or 4 other rooms in Dolan's, and they were all full with different types of stuff going on. So I did 25 minutes. I did really, really well. I came back, went up to the green room, was chilling with Chris. Chris was like, "You smashed it," but then he was getting ready. Like, he's the main man. Like, do you know what I mean? He's getting ready for his show. So I brought him on, right? And his show is like 1 hour and 10, and he does a little bit of crowd work as well then at the start. So it's about 1 hour and 20 in total at the moment. And so out he went anyway, and I couldn't wait to go outside and smoke a J, like, because I hadn't smoked a J. Out I went, smoked a J, and I came back and I floated in then. And I was like full of the endorphins and happiness and gratitude. So grateful for like that I'm in that position, because I would be, you know, I wouldn't be had I not put all my years into it.
Yes,
you know? And I'm just grateful for the opportunity and happy that I had smashed it. And I was floating around inside in Dolan's, and I said, I'm going to go. I haven't gone to a music gig in ages. So I heard this band playing, and I kind of just floated down into this room, another one of the Dolan's rooms, a smaller room called the Casbah or something like that. And that's the room that Chris had done last year.
Oh, right, yeah.
But there was music on there, and it was a kind of an indie band from West Cork called The Hives or The Divines or something like that. I have my phone there. I'll look for it there now in a second, because I followed them. And I was like, I was brought back. I put up my Instagram. I took a little photo of them, and I was like, I feel young tonight. And because it took me back to when I used to go to watch music.
Yes, yeah. Watch a gig like that.
Let's go to a gig.
Just a bit of a gig, like, yeah.
And there'd be an up and coming Irish band, or there'd be like, you know, me and Danny probably, and we'd float off into some place like that, and we'd have a few pints, and I just felt I just really
Jesus,
felt
sure it's
great.
high as kite today. It's a
Well, I am feeling great, and tonight now we're in Blanchardstown tonight in another theatre, and we're in the Spirit Store then tomorrow night, and fuck it.
On the road
on
again.
the road. I'm happy. Thank you more. Happy. Thank you more, please. I'm very, very grateful. How are you?
How am I? You can.
I'm going to find the name of this band as you're telling me how you are.
I thought you were going to listen intently to how I am.
I'm going to be in the moment at the same time. Go on.
Go on.
I'm so present. I'm so present right now.
Ah, shut up with you.
I'm so present right now. Go on.
How am I? I'm good. Yeah.
Back to me. So and
fuck you. Harvey had homework for the first time now this week, so that was challenging. He's got his first test today.
Oh no! Are they going to give him the results there and then?
Oh, I don't know. He told me Gillian, who is his SNA, is going to be able to help him, but like I don't know. He struggles with the writing so much like that. I know he's still has to think about how to do the shape of the word. Never mind the spelling of the word. That's what they've tested on today's spellings like over the week.
The Finches is the name of the band.
Finches.
Right. Check them out. They're brilliant. Okay. Can I say something to you about Harvey, right?
What?
So the homework was on this week, right? And this is part of, I suppose, the new role where like I'm so happy you're doing the homework, because I just wouldn't be able for the patience that you have, and you're dedicated and dogged to get it done. Monday was a shit show, wasn't it? Like, it was really hard.
Was it
on
Monday or Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday.
Was it Tuesday?
Tuesday, day 2 of it.
It was a really difficult day for you, and you persevered, and I kind of came in and played bad cop, and it was good. We had to.
No, you were good cop, and I was bad cop, and
Oh,
then we ended up having that. We gonna catch Daddy out and get all the letters done, and get the words done. And that was the only way he could do it, and he did it with the laugh, and like he just had to write. He had to write 15 words. It was 5 words 3 times, and he was meant to do 5 sentences. He didn't do the 5 sentences. That's fine. We did 1 the following morning. That's why we're at. Maybe next week we'll do 2 sentences. But he was doing them, and like the only way he'd do it was after he wrote 1 word 3 times. He'd go in and show Dad, because Dad didn't believe it that he was gonna do it, and that was.
He'd come in then, and I'd be like, God damn it! This is my worst nightmare. How are you able to do all of this? And then I'd say, I bet you can't do another one though. And he'd run in then and he'd do it like.
Yeah.
But that was just that day. There was a little bit of it going on the second day, but for a finish.
But yesterday he showed it you finished.
Finished, exactly.
And this morning he didn't show you his sentence at all. He just did it. And like, I was thinking last night, that's the first time since he's been in school that I've done homework with him all week. And like, every household is different, but in our house, because of the way the shift was, I was only doing it with him twice, maybe 3 times. The very rare 4 times the 4 nights. Like, that happened. Oh, actually, I don't even think it physically could happen. It wouldn't have happened. So 3. But then the following week I wouldn't have done it. It would have been 2 or 1. Whereas now I already know the plan for him for next week. Do you know?
Yeah.
We'll up it another small bit.
Yeah.
And like, it's like, not a project is the wrong words, but like, it's very important for reading and all that, is the basics of the writing and the letters and all of that. And I feel I myself didn't give him enough time the last 2 years on it. I mean,
but you didn't have the time to give. You gave, and when you and any time that you had, you spent in ways that were needed as well.
Yes, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't that you neglected him. Like, you were out there, fucking paying for everything and getting us through life. Like.
Oh, I know, but I'm not. This isn't a pity party. I have zero guilt about it.
And you shouldn't have.
No,
Good.
and like, that was the plan, and that was what we were doing then, and this is what we're doing now. So it's just something I want to work on, over the next, to see, because just to see if we can and help him, like, do you know what I mean? But this was an interesting week actually for me, because with the kids back to school now, not that I'm listening to the radio more, but I'm more conscious on all social media platforms or something. There's so much about the struggle and the juggling. That it's struggle and the juggle.
You might have just invented a kind of a thing there.
The struggle and the juggle.
Struggle of the juggle.
Of the juggle of everything, of all of
Yeah.
working moms, and working and trying to get the homework, trying to get the life and all of the things. And it's hard to describe, but it's like, okay, so I've taken away the working mom part, but what everything else still isn't easy. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I think it was partially because my brother came to stay, and it's like I myself, on myself, not by anyone else, but I'd say there probably is a bit of a judgment. I'm not going to lie, I would assume, because I think I would judge when I was working.
Judge what?
If I came into a house of somebody, I don't know, would I? Maybe I wouldn't, but like, I wouldn't really judge anyone. I don't give a shit what anyone's person's house is like, but it's more around, like, how is the house not spotless? Sure, you're not working. Like, do you know? This is in my own head. I'm like, how is the house not spotless?
That's definitely a thing that's, I think, is just in your own head. Because, you know, it's not like you've left, in my opinion, you've left a job that was 4 days a week, 12 hours a day, right? To do a new job that is 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're doing it's not an easy, it's not you don't have time to sit around. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a 24-hour day. You do have time to sit down and have a coffee, and you do have time to watch a bit of television. There's no point in saying you don't. But the work is endless. And just take the kitchen, for example. You and me always talk about the kitchen. We'd be like, there's no point in cleaning this fucking kitchen. But you have to clean it for your mental health.
Yeah.
I have to clean. It has to, you know. And even, I know Alan came around now this week, and you were definitely doing a little bit more housework. And I was thinking to myself, what brother or sister could I invite up next week?
I actually think it was the boost, because it'll be that was the deep clean that some areas needed, that it'll be maintenance and continue.
But we always talk about what's priority, you know, and we prioritize. And like, we've fucking big old house, man. It's going to be fucking hard to keep on top of it. But like, it's going to be hard to get it right. But once it's right, it'll be easy to keep on top of it between the two of us, like, you know.
Between the two. But anyway, that was only a slight part of what I was talking about.
Between the two of us is right. Okay? How dare you undermine me? Go on, off you go.
But so it was that was the kind of thing, and going, like, how is it still, why isn't everything, not that everything, I want everything perfect, but like, it's still busy, it's still hard work. And I suppose I had there's a part of me that when I was working, I'm
going to go live on Instagram here now for a bit.
Oh Jesus. When I was working the 50 hours a week, out of the house for 60 hours a week, there was kind of well, I'm very hardworking, you know?
Yeah.
Like, no, this isn't going to work for me now, Connie. You going live on Facebook and Instagram. You didn't tell me you were doing that.
I was just
at
trying.
a moment when I'm trying to gather my thoughts on something.
All right.
But anyway.
How do I fucking get out of the bastarding thing?
But so I had this kind of like, I'm working really hard. I'm minding my two children. I love my boys. It's busy. It's really hard, but I'm doing great. And there's something in the praise of somebody who goes, Jesus, that must be very hard. How'd you do that? Like, whereas you don't get any of that as a stay-at-home mother.
Praise. Well, we have to. You and I have to praise each other, because we both.
But I think you do. You appreciate me in the house. I really do. I'm not, and I don't want praise from other people. But it's just the idea that, I'm sure that's grand for them. They're at home all the time.
Well, do you know what I think we need, right? Because I do respond well to praise myself. Okay, and I know you we respond to positivity. And negativity draws, like, if I get a negative comment or something like that, it'll fucking kill me, right? And I think, actually, with you, sometimes all I'd have to say is, like, fuck's sake, the state of the place. And I wouldn't be saying it on purpose. But you take that as a fucking slight on you. And the next thing
100%.
And next thing then you get ratty with me. And the place gets cleaned. Right? And I'd never be like, I'd be saying it about well, anyway, it doesn't matter. But I think what we need to do is because I do need one for my own office anyway, right? Or for our office, is I think we need two things. We need a vision board for my office. I'll have a look at price these now over the next couple of days. And we need a to-do list for the kitchen on a whiteboard as well. And to-do list, fucking a margin down the middle, your name over one and my name over the other.
And the boys' names.
And we'll put the boys' names on it as well. And we'll all have our chores on it. And we'll decide what they are. But then you can be ticking shit off. And ticking stuff off for me on my lists. I do a list. I'm a big list man. When you get your like I was telling you there during the week that I was trying to finding it hard writing at the moment, you know. But I'm like, you have to write. Like writing it's all about writing. Even if you write shit, you have to write, because in that shit you can sift through it, and you might get one sentence out of 10 that's you can bring onto a stage or you can cultivate. And so I'm 10 sentences a day. That's my thing at the moment. 10 sentences a day. And like last night I came home, I had a fucking unbelievable night last night. Came home, I was in the door here around 12:30, and I was like buzzing, and I was like, will I have a game of FIFA? But I knew I hadn't done my 10 sentences because I'd been so busy yesterday. And I said, fuck it, I'll just do my 10 sentences and I'll enjoy FIFA all the more. And I did it, and I ticked it off in my fucking copybook, and I was so content with having that
it done. Yeah.
And I think that would be something that we could, because that's the way of getting praise. You're praising yourself.
You're getting the endorphins. Yeah. Because I saw a thing, and I used to do it in work all the time, is like, if you did something that wasn't on your list, you write it on your list to tick it off, like, after you've done it. You know, like, if you did something, but it's a psychological thing. And maybe that's the point, that it's just this kind of expectation, I suppose, that it's grand for them, they're at home all the time. And I definitely would have said that sentence. I did, like, but I know I'm filling my time differently as well. Like, they've got a treat on Friday in school, you know, and before, sometimes I mightn't have even remembered to have something in for the treat. Whereas yesterday we made banana bread for it. Do you know, like, so you're
like even like cooking with your children, like, Noelle. Do you know?
Do you know what Harvey said this morning?
Baking with your children.
Hunter just absolutely loves. Remember, we made a sandwich during the week.
Oh, he made his first sandwich during the week, guys. His very first cheese sandwich. It was. Jesus, it was hilarious.
It was so cute, because he has the chopping, the peeler and the
cut out like
school safe or whatever,
a block
knife.
of cheese. Like he carved.
Anyone
off.
contemplating buying them, do it, family, with kids. If you were thinking of getting that safe
Will
knife.
you describe that sandwich there to the listeners? Just describe that whole process that went, the whole thing that went on.
Oh, he's so independent. So he was like, I could make my sandwich. I said, go on. So Connie was like, huh? But the cheese was on the counter. So he went over anyway. He opened up his cheese, went over, got his bread, and buttered
pushed over
it.
his chair.
Pushed over his own chair,
so that he could stand
up.
up.
Trap. Over he went, stood up, dug holes in the butter and in the bread, and had his knife and buttered it up and cut his slices of cheese.
Folded it over back.
Folded it for 1/2 sandwich and came over and sat down and ate his sandwich.
Yeah.
Delighted with his life.
Unfucking believable. He's only 4 years old, like.
But Harvey then would have no interest, like zero. But it was so funny this morning, I never told you this. Hunter wanted an egg, so he was up with me making the egg, and Harvey wanted Hunter to play battles. Both of them be Spider-Man and evil and good or something. And Harvey came in and go, I am sick of you always cooking, Hunter. What is with this cooking stuff? Can't you just come and play with me? Cooking. It's all about cooking with you. And he stormed out. And Hunter just goes to me, I love cooking, Mum.
Great, because we could do with a fucking another chef in the house. And I'm saying, like, not that you're not a great chef, you're absolutely unreal. And you made the chili last night. You made the happy pear chili, and I'm taking it up tonight. I've told Chris I'm bringing up my wife's famous chili, but it's really.
He had it before here, I'm sure.
Did he?
Yeah.
What are we going to do? Are we going to bring rice with it, or
you can do, yeah.
Yeah.
But
But he does. He loves
loves
cooking.
cooking, yeah.
He does.
That's one thing I've definitely increased as well, is not the cooking, but back to bit to the chores. They have to tidy up themselves a bit after themselves now. Like, I know that to a lot of listeners that might just seem like, of course they have to, but they weren't, like, because they were kind of living with Sam and living with me from a raise. Like, do you know what I mean?
Well, Sam was raising them half the time with me, and you were raising them the other half the time with me. And when I say with me, I'm in the periphery all the time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I'm, like, even when Sam was here, like, I'm working, and then I'd come in and I'd play with them.
But the continuity, like, they had it.
I was collecting them and dropping them and shit like that, like, do you know what I mean? But Sam was making their dinners, changing nappies when they were in, like, when we got back after the pandemic and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And
then when I'm off, you were still working. Do you know, it was a different kind of world where it wasn't two parents out of the house coming home at 5 o'clock in the evening and sharing the role, because when I was off, you were still heading to work that evening or whatever. So it's a bit different. But, like, it's just, I didn't nearly have the energy to fight them that's required to get them to pick up stuff. Like, now it's like, like, even this morning I just noticed Harvey pick up those costumes and put them in, and he put them in, you know. Now that might seem like something very small, but I can tell you a month ago he would have been like, you know, really giving out about it, or especially if it was something he didn't actually himself use, he would have been giving out about. Hunter the same. Whereas they've gotten into me just saying to him, put those in there to the playroom, or pick those up and put it into the wash. Like, and it's only small things.
Well, Harvey's very obedient. Hunter is not. Do you know, he's not.
It's a new thing now,
like,
yeah.
As you said, he's very independent. Like, he's like, I don't know if anyone out there has a 4-year-old, and an independent 4-year-old, but like our lad, I'd say he'd be tick if he wasn't allowed to vote, if he knew he could. Do you know, he's so independent, like, and they're chalk and cheese. They're chalk and cheese.
Oh, they are, but they've really started a bit more to play with each other now, the last few weeks actually, or the bedtime.
It really warms the cockles of your heart.
The bedtime now, so
holding hands.
I'm 6 years now Lucy wolfing my children, which worked really well for Harvey when he was 6 months old.
Because he's trainable, but do you know, I just think Hunter's independent, Ben, from a young age.
Yeah, but he's trainable now. As in, Hunter, we're back sleep training. I was beside the bed. I was halfway out the room. I was over at the door. I was on the door frame. I was outside the door with my pillow and my duvet. And now we're at the stage where I'm around the house somewhere with the monitor, and they can hear me. And Hunter pretty much has a conversation with me for 20 minutes, but then he goes to sleep. But so I'm now out of the room and away from the room when they're going to sleep, which is incredible.
It is,
and it's taken 2 weeks. But again, wouldn't have done it if
she wouldn't have had the time, Noelle.
I wouldn't have wanted. I wouldn't have. My guilt would not have let me go through what I went through with Hunter, and I didn't really go through anything with him. But if you've got a kid that goes, but Mom, it's so much more comfy inside in bed here with me. Come in here and I'll give you a snuggle. Like, if I thought I was going to work the following day,
you'd be in that
bed. Do you think I'd say no to that? Like,
no, it's great.
Child?
And you know, I swear to God, Noelle, like you're unbelievable. Fair play to you. I love you.
Thanks. I'll take all that praise.
Yeah. No, you are, and I love you. Right. And it's great because do you know what? I'm coming home from gigs and you're in bed.
Yeah. We have a quick chat.
We have a quick chat, and
then I just turn my arse to you.
And you turn, and sometimes I come in and there's a smell in the room, Noelle, and I'm just wondering, would it be possible to open the window?
Excuse me, I've endured several smells in that bedroom from you, Cornelius.
Well, I would be
Patrick.
responsible for 90% of the smells. No, but it is lovely to come home and you're inside in the bed, and we do, like, because you're a light sleeper, like, or oftentimes you'll wake up, like, what? I'd be like, Noelle, it's me, your husband. I'm here to attack you. Remember I said that the other night? And you were like, what?
You're like, I'm not good. But you know, my mother used to do the same thing.
Oh, sure, you're turning into your mother.
But like, genuinely, she'd nearly actually go, watch this, if she was napping when we were younger. And she was due to get up, I don't know. And you go, Mom.
That's well, you've learned from the best. But yeah, so that's it, guys. Thanks a million for tuning in. We love you, and remember to tune in again because we love you.
Bye.
Bye.